What's good, YouTube? It's your boy NYC Mike, man, and I'm back with another reaction video. You already know what it do. And today we're gonna be reacting to a 23-year-old woman to Tucker. I regret transitioning as a teen. You get what I'm saying? So before we get straight into the video, I need y'all to do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And most of all, turn on those post notifications so you get notified when I upload a new video. So without further ado, we're going to hop straight into it.
I'm Helena. I'm 23 years old. When I was about 15, I started using Tumblr. I had an eating disorder since I was pretty young. There's a lot of messages that said, if you feel bad about your body, that means you're trans. I was just going through this period of like, I don't like how I'm treated as a cis person. I don't want to be cis because cis means you're uncool and you're privileged and you're an oppressor and you're bad, and I don't want to be that. In that way, I was really incentivized to try to figure out a way to make my voice heard in these communities. And obviously I can't change my race. I can't really change my sexuality. So the only thing left was to start playing around with the gender stuff. So I decided to call myself a demi-girl, which is one of the 40 million genders. And that basically means that I'm mostly a girl, but I'm a little bit not a girl, which is just like, what does that even mean? And then after that, I went to demi-boy. And then after that, I went to gender fluid. And after that, I eventually went to trans boy. But all this took like 2 or 3 years of just going through this repetitive cycle of changing this identity and changing it again. And it was just never enough. There was a lot of hopelessness for a long time, a lot of regret. The feeling of regret was intense.
It's a moving interview, and there's a lot more of it in the episode. Helena joins us on set now. Helena, thanks so much for coming out. There's something so sad about that. First of all, thank you for speaking up, because your voice does matter, I think, in this conversation. But you felt what every young woman I've ever met felt at a certain age, which is uncomfortable with yourself. And it feels like you were exploited at that moment of weakness.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as you said, it's completely normal for not only young girls, but often young boys too, to feel uncomfortable with themselves, uncomfortable with their body. But we have this ideology that is especially prevalent online that says that if you have those feelings, that means you're trans. I mean, there are literally people who say, if you don't even like your voice on a recording, that's a sign of gender dysphoria, and you need to go see a medical professional because you're trans.
Talk about taking advantage of people. So how do you, and this is all explained in greater depth in the documentary, but how do you feel now at 23 looking back on what happened?
I feel honestly grateful for the experience because it's taught me a lot about the world and about myself, but I really feel afraid for these other young girls like myself who they might not be. You know, I consider myself lucky that I was able to get out of it unscarred really medically, but there's so many young people who can't say the same. And psychologically as well. I mean, it's just devastating to, especially from a young age, be lied to by adults at school and by medical professionals and told that your body is wrong, you need to change it, you need to get hormones, you need to get surgeries. That's devastating for a young person. So I'm just really concerned for younger girls and boys like I once was,
Yes.
being led down this path and being hurt by it.
It's a failure of male leadership, of adult leadership, and it does seem like some of the steps are medically irreversible.
Absolutely. I mean, there's all sorts of, you know, the White House actually just put out a chart yesterday that says that some of these steps are reversible or partially reversible, but that's such an oversimplification of the truth. I mean, when you go on a cross-sex hormone, like, that's going to give you not just physical changes, but psychological experiences that you can't just act like they never happened. You can't just take it back.
Yes.
And especially with surgeries, you know, a breast implant after a mastectomy is not the same thing as never having your breast taken off in the first place. So there's a lot of young women who are going through that, who had a double mastectomy at 16, 17, 18 years old, or even younger, that happens, who, you know, there's nothing you can really do to put that feeling of
And I just want to pause the video right there, man. And this is why I say social media has really negatively affected a lot of these young kids' lives, man. You feel me? And this is why this is why when I have kids, when I have a daughter, when I have a son or whatever, right? And they start getting to the age where, you know, they're starting to be aware of the things that are around them and stuff like that. I'm not giving them no smartphone. You get what I'm saying? I'm going to discipline my kids to the point where, like, they're not getting no smartphone, no none of that until they are old enough. So 16, 17, that's probably like the proper age for them to have a smartphone. You get what I'm saying? But I'm seeing little kids out here that have smartphones and they're like only 12, 13 years old. And I'm like, yo, why do they have a smartphone for? They're kids. They don't need to be having no smartphone. They don't need that. You feel me? Listen, I'm gonna just give them a flip phone. That's all they need is a flip phone. You feel me? All they need to be worrying about is calling me if they need something.
In your body back.
It's heartbreaking. I hope people are hearing you with open minds, tolerance. Are they?
There's a lot of people out there, especially parents, who are really thankful for what I'm saying because they see that their young girl or their young boy is going through this, and the school is telling them, you need to affirm them, they're trans, you need to transition them. All their doctors are telling them, you need to transition them. And these parents, they know that their child should not be having these cosmetic procedures. So there's a lot of parents who are really thankful. There are other young people who are really thankful that I'm saying what I'm saying, but obviously, you know, you have the trans activists and the trans community that exhibits some very unhealthy kind of cult-like dynamics who are really upset about this.
Man, you are so articulate and thoughtful at 23. It's remarkable.
Thank you.
People who have suffered like you have sometimes get deeper.
Yeah, you learn a lot. Like I said, I learned a lot.
You do. Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. You're going to hear her full story.
Yeah, so I'm going to just end the video off on that point. All I really have to say as far as my final thoughts go is that, yeah, man, this transgenderism, whatever you want to call it, this stuff is evil, man. This stuff is evil, and it's hurting a lot of young people's lives, man. You get what I'm saying? You got, every time I go on YouTube, I always see a drag queen ad, you feel me? With just a dude with a bunch of makeup on, just looking crazy, man. Just looking crazy. And I'm just like, yo, bro, it's sad how there are so many people out here like that exist. You get what I'm saying? Now, listen. If you want to transition, if you want to do that stuff, do that. Nobody's saying you can't do that. You get what I'm saying? But don't brainwash and indoctrinate little kids into thinking stuff like that is cool. Because it's not. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that. That's when I have a problem. You feel me? That's when I have a problem. Don't do that. Don't mess with the kids. Leave the kids out of it. You get what I'm saying? Because a kid is not smart enough or intelligent enough to even know what these aspects and these type of concepts are. You get what I'm saying? And they don't know the long-term detrimental effects that it can have on someone who goes through a process like that. Because they're children. They're impressionable. They're naive. They don't, you know what I'm saying? All kids want to do is just have fun. That's all kids want to do. You get what I'm saying? And not only that, but kids are followers. Most kids are followers. They see a bunch of other kids doing something, they're going to want to do the same thing. Especially if it looks fun. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, man, but I'm going to just end the video off on that. I hope you enjoyed the reaction, and I'll see y'all on the next video.